Hello everyone, my name is Sumitra Swain. I welcome you all to the UNC digital classes. We are studying Introduction to Business, and in today's class we are going to continue the chapter that is your classification of business. In the previous class we have discussed about what is business activity and the types of business activity. First, it was your industry and commerce. Under industry, we have already discussed what is your primary industry, secondary industry, and tertiary industry. So, basically, in tertiary industry, we were saying that basically the service sector comes under your tertiary sector, and the primary and the secondary industry were classified into different parts, and which we have already studied in the last class. Okay, so basically in today's class we are going to classify the activities taken under commerce, and we are going to study that commerce is basically divided into two categories. First one is your trade, second is your auxiliary to trade, or we can say that it is also known as your aids to trade, means which help to trade. So trade can be two types. If it is within the boundary of the country, then it is your internal trade, and if it is beyond the country's region, then it will be your external trade. Under internal trade, it is your wholesale or it can be your retail. And in external, it can be three types, that is your import, export, entreport. And if we talk about what are the aids to trade, means what are the activities which are going to help when in business activity we are going to deal with trade. So it can be your transportation, it can be warehousing, we can say it can be insurance, banking and finance, and advertisement. It sometimes can be your packing and other trades also. So in today's class we are going to only discuss about commerce and all these subdivisions of commerce. So let's understand that what is commerce. Commerce refers to all those activities which are necessary for bringing goods from the place of production to the place of their consumption. So this point is actually saying that commerce normally helps the marketer, or we can say the producer, not to worry about how the goods are going to be sold, or they are to reach at the place of the consumption or near the consumers. Okay, so they can just directly focus on their activity, that is to produce, or they simply they can focus on their works. Okay, and commerce is saying that okay, you just put your effort, put your attention on the production, and we are here to transfer all the produced goods or the final goods to the place of the consumers or to the marketplace. Okay, so commerce include not only trade but also service, such as it can be your transportation, it can warehousing, packaging, insurance, banking, sales promotion, which are incidental to trade. So trade means when we exchange something. Okay, and it is not only saying that we will trade, we also facilitate which is necessary to the trade. Okay, and which we are going to discuss in more detail in the coming slides. So now commercial activity may be classified into two broad categories. It can be your trade and aids to trade. So first, what is trade? Trade is the process of purchasing and procurement of goods and service with the object of selling them at a profit. Basically we are what we are all studying is business activity, and we know that business activity has a primary objective, that is earning profit. So whatever may be the classification of business activity, whatever, it can be your industry or it can be your commerce. So under commerce it can be your trade or aids to trade. All those activity must follow the basic objective, that is which activity we are performing to be called as a business, it must be for the purpose of your earning profit. Yes or no? So that's why we are saying that it is normally the process of purchasing and procurement of both goods and service. Trade means buying and selling of goods and service with the aim of earning profit. The second thing is, it is not that I will buy the goods and I will consume them, or I am buying the goods for my own purpose. So this will not be a trade. Trade will only be called if we will buy something and the objective of buying those material or those goods is only to sell them back. Okay, so with that buying and selling activity we can earn profit. Now, trade is also divided into two things. So, this is a home trade and foreign trade. Home trade means it is normally the inside trade or internal trade, and it is also called as your domestic trade sometimes. It means buying and selling within the geographical boundary of one country. Means if it is India and all the tradings, all the buying and selling activity are limited up to our country's region, then the business activity will be called as your home trade. But if I am dealing with another country, if I am exporting tea to foreign countries, if we are buying mobile phones or any other electronic device from outside of India to our countries, then it is not your home trade, it will come under your foreign trade. So, home trade is again divided into two types, that is your wholesale trade and retail trade. I think you are very familiar with these two words. First is what is wholesale. So, wholesale trade implies buying and selling of goods in the bulk amount of quantities. So, if the amount or the quantity is very large or in bulk in size, then we can say that it is wholesale. And one more thing, that is with wholesalers, that the amount or the quantities is very large or bulk, but the variety of goods are very limited. Okay, so as compared to the retailer, normally wholesaler deals with very specific type of product, and those particular specific type of product must be in large quantities. Okay, and also as they are dealing with the industries, or we can say the retailer, normally there is a very credit facility they offer to the retailers. And also we can say that if we will talk about the capital investment, the amount we need to invest in our company or the business, then as compared to retail shop, the wholesale must be huge amount of capital is needed for investing in our wholesale trade. Okay, so now let's come to retail trade. It involves buying and selling of goods in small quantity, and trader engaged in retail trade are called as your retailer. A retailer buys goods from the wholesaler and producer and sell them to the consumer. So we normally know that a retailer is that person who normally directly deal with the customers. Retailers sometimes buy the goods from the manufacturer directly, and normally they go to the wholesaler. They buy the stock in variety of product, and the quantity are very less. If we will talk about wholesaler deal with sometimes very particular quantity. Okay, you will find only 10 to 15 types or different varieties of product there, but one variety must be in thousands of unit. In retail it will be exactly opposite. In retail you will find a variety of product in retail store, but the number of one variety is very less. Okay, so retailer are very close to the consumers. That's why when it is about the choice, it is about the pricing, or it is about the complaint of the consumers, normally industries or the businessman directly come to the retailer and take the survey about the opinion or the viewpoint of the consumers, so that we can work on the limitation of our product. Okay, now after your home trade, it is about your foreign trade. Foreign trade is also known as your external trade or your international trade. I have already told you that if the trade activity is working or it is performed beyond the region of the country. Okay, if you are dealing with more than one or two or three countries, it can be more than two countries. Okay, so it can be called as your foreign trade. Okay, so it is written that it refers to the buying and selling of goods and service between two or more countries. Foreign trade are of three types, that is your export trade, import and export trade. First is your export trade. Export means when you are producing a very huge amount of goods and it is very much sufficient to the people of your own country. Now what you will do, there is a excess of quantity, or there is a excess of goods or finished goods in your country remaining, so which cannot be sold. So now at this point you always try to sell the goods to the foreign countries. and with that you will earn a foreign exchange money. Okay, so export trade implies the sale of goods to the foreign country, and the exact opposite is import trade. When you are insufficient to produce that particular product when your people are needing, so what you try actually, if you can't produce that, you can purchase the good from the foreign country. Okay, so here your country's money will go to other country. Okay, so normally a company always try to minimize the import and always try to maximize the export. Okay, and the third one is your entreport trade. Entreport trade means importing good from one country, and the import is not for the consumption of the country's people. It is also again to export the goods to another country. So here actually the entrepreneur trade or the entrepreneur trader is acting as a third man. Okay, so or we can say it is as a middleman. So it will buy goods from one country and again it will sell to another country. We can understand entrepreneur trade in one example. Okay, so let's say that this is a country A and there is a country B, but there is no common line or there is no common path where A and B can directly be traded. Okay, A is a country which is producing one particular product which B's country is needing, but maybe there is some rivalry or there is some economical problem or there can be the path or it can be any problem. That's why A and B cannot directly trade. So C here, the country C will act as an export trader. This will do that it will buy from country A, it will store the goods with country C, and it will again sell them to B. Okay, so C is not buying the goods only for the consumption of its own country's people. It is only buying the goods for the purpose of reselling them to country B. I hope now you have a clear cut idea about what is your export, import and entreport trade. The next slide is saying about the aids to trade. Aids mean to help. Okay, so when we are providing some help or when we are providing a supplementary activity to the activity of trade, it will be known as your aids to trade. So aids to trade refers to all the activity essential for the smooth flow of goods from the producer to the consumer. Okay, so it is act like a auxiliary. We know that there is a flow of goods from the producer to the consumer, that is known as your trade, but how the flow will be very easy or very convenient or it can be very economical, the activity is taken care by your aids to trade. Okay, so this facilitate trade by removing various barriers in the buying and selling of your goods. The next slide is saying about what are the different type of aids to trade. So it can be your transportation. So we normally know that what is transportation means. It refers to the conveyance of goods and passenger from one place to another. If it is like the place A is producing something or some goods are produced at a very far region. Okay, so it is not very much possible to all the consumers that they will go to their particular place and they will buy. So normally what companies are now doing, they are taking the help of these aids to trade means transportation. So they will transfer the goods from the place of your manufacturing to the place of the consumption means the marketplaces. Okay, so how the production or how the products are moved from the manufacturer to the wholesaler and again from the wholesaler to the retailer is only because of your transportation. Okay, so it refers to the conveyance of goods and passengers from one place to another. It facilitates trade by assembling and distributing goods. Next is your warehousing. You know what is warehouse? Warehouse means to store. So nowadays actually production is taking place on the base of your assumption or we can say that on the anticipation of demand. If it is about fruit, then there is a particular season when the particular fruit can be produced or it can be harvested. But people normally demand, or people's desire about that particular fruit are normally throughout the year. So we cannot harvest or we cannot produce that particular fruit throughout the year due to climate change. But what we can do here is we can produce that particular fruit and we can store that. So normally nowadays goods are produced in anticipation of demand. It is therefore necessary to store the goods and to preserve the goods until they are sold. So till the date we are not selling the goods, we should take care of that goods. And how we will take care of those goods? We can store them, and that storing house is known as your warehousing. So here warehousing remove the hindrance of time and create your time utility. How? Because it is saying that warehousing is storing the goods and the goods will be available at the time of requirement. So that's why we are saying it is creating your time utility. Next is your insurance. Business involves several type of risk. We know that the basic characteristics of business include that there are uncertainty of risk. We have already discussed about that. If you are doing or if you are involved in business, you cannot predict that what is coming tomorrow. There are uncertainty, there are different type of risk. So if you will focus directly on risk, or if your brain is only stuck with the risk elements, then how you will focus on your production or on your business activity? Ultimately there will be a hindrance, yes or no? So to avoid or to overcome that hindrance, insurance is there. Insurance remove the hindrance of risk. With the help of insurance, a business can protect himself from several type of risk. So you know that if something hazard comes to your business, or if there is something that is unexpected to your business, then you know that insurance is there and I can cover my loss. The next element in your aids to trade is banking and finance. There is usually a time gap between the production and purchase and sale of goods. Means goods are sold. We cannot say that all the sale are on cash basis. Normally, if it is business, ultimately people will come and buy goods on your credit basis. Okay. Actually, in companies or in business, maximum to maximum sale is on credit base. So if it is on credit base and you know that the money is going to be recovered after 3 months or sometimes 4 months or 6 months, but the production is on a continuous base, it is on a very regular base, how you will buy your raw material, how you will buy, all the work in progress will be stopped, your finished goods will be stopped, how you will pay the wages and salary to your employees? Okay, you cannot wait for the money, you have sold the goods on the credit base. So here it take time to collect money after the sale of goods on credit, and bank and other financial institutions provide fund to the company or the businessman to start or to continue their business on a very smooth manner. Okay, the next is your advertisement and publicity. Advertisement is actually a message. Okay, we are trying to deliver a message to the customers or the public that in the market we are also existing, and these are our products. Okay, so advertisement and publicity inform the consumer about the availability of various product and its services. They remove the hindrance of knowledge. If a consumer doesn't have an idea that there is a company and the company is dealing with this product, how it will come to the retailer or wholesaler and it can ask, and how it will ask about that particular product. Okay, so normally advertisement and publicity help the people to be aware of the product or the producer. So the last slide is saying about the other trades of your aids to trade. Proper packing of goods is also essential for efficient trade. Packing attract consumer to buy goods. Modern means of communication like telephone, postal service have become essential for the expansion of trade and industry. The packaging, the color of the product, the how it is packed to shape the inside of the product, it is also helps the businessman to draw the customers attention to them. So this is all about your business activity and the various classification of your business activities. I hope this video will help you to understand and have a clear cut idea regarding this chapter. If you have any doubt, you can write in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.